Murder in the morning from the Hidden Killers podcast.
I don't know about you, but I'm going to make this statement because it's my own personal experience, and I'm sure many people had very positive experiences that don't relate at all to mine. But I can't say I've ever, been in an environment where I've met a youth pastor when I was a youth that I was like, something's not off here. I don't know. I always kind of felt weird around youth pastors as a child. Maybe it's because when I walk into a church, suddenly you start hearing screaming coming from the basement and there's demons and there's fire because I walked into a church. But I've always felt weird. I don't know. I've never had a great experience, but I do know that there are good ones out there. I just want to say that. I'm just speaking my own experience. And then when I saw this story today, it really just oh, holy shit. It reinforces probably unfounded notions in myself or unfounded notions in other people too, of youth pastors, that they may not have a great experience with, or maybe founded notions of people who have not had great experiences there. But there's a lot of this where it seems we're seeing youth pastors being involved in kind of shady shit. And this one takes the cake. A youth pastor attempts to kill 5 kids and his wife before burning down the house.
So these are his kids, though, right?
Before burning down his house. I think I haven't gone into the story very much in great depth. So we'll learn as we go. In a shocking revelation, Matthew Richards, a 41-year-old youth pastor from Shawnee, Kansas, is facing grave charges of attempting to kill his wife, 5 children, and committing arson on his own residence. So the answer to that is yes. Authorities have detained the alleged events, detailed the alleged events, and what transpired in the early hours of September 16th. According to the Shawnee Police Department, on September 16th, firefighters and police officers arrived at Richards' residence on Goode Drive at approximately 3:47 a.m. This was in response to alarming reports of a disturbance paired with a fire. On inspection, the fire was identified in the basement and promptly doused by the responding firefighters. Subsequent investigations painted a horrifying scene. All members of the family, including Richard's wife, Stephanie, their 19-year-old child, and 4 younger children, sustained laceration injuries, with the police noting the injuries were of varying degree. In connection with this, Richard now stands charged with 5 counts of attempted premeditated first-degree murder and an additional count of aggravated arson with the risk of causing bodily harm. Richards, the man behind the accusation, a key figure at the Crossroads Christian Church since August of 2016, is described on the church's website as a big kid who loves teaching little kids about Jesus. With a caveat of, and loves also on the weekends to make an attempt at
burning down his house and killing his wife and kids.
Oh, that's not on the website.
Oh, God.
But the biography goes on to provide insights into his personal life, highlighting his marriage to Stephanie since 2003 and their 5 children. They uphold 3 cardinal family values.
Love God, love people, love sports, with particular affection
for the Jayhawks and the Sporting KC. I love God, love people, love sports. That's an interesting... is that the trifecta? Is that like Father, Son, and Holy Spirit? Is that the Trinity for him? Love sports. Okay.
I'm not sure where that part comes in the Bible. I'd have to go grab my copy off the bookshelf here and see where that is. But what the fuck happened here? Somebody snapped.
Yeah, very likely. In the wake of these allegations, there's a palpable dissonance between the family-oriented religious figure depicted in his biography and the grim charges he currently faces. The gravity of the situation did not go unnoticed by the senior leadership at Crossroads Christian Church. Senior pastor Kurt Witten took to an official platform on the very day of the incident, stating, We are aware of the situation involving our children's pastor, Matt Richards. He further noted the church's intention to gather more information and assure the congregation and community of a comprehensive statement in due course. Pastor Witten urged for respect, considering the ongoing nature of the investigation, and solicited prayers for the beleaguered Richards family. Authorities remain committed to piecing together the exact sequence of events leading up to that fateful morning. As the investigation delves deeper, Richards is held on $5 million bond, reflecting the severity of the accusations against him. The unfolding of these events has understandably left the Shawnee community in a state of shock. Such incidents remind us that the appearances can be deceptive, and even the most unsuspecting individuals can harbor dark secrets. As the investigation progresses, the community and the church await clarity. There is no clarity on this tragic incident, hoping for justice and healing for all those involved. And that's the sad part with this, because everyone will wait for clarity. Everybody's going to look for what happened here. What exactly was the reason? There ain't going to be an answer.
No.
This was likely a mental break of some sort. Just further evidence of our lack of mental health understanding and opportunities for people to gain it when they need it in our culture, that people are being driven to this. I don't know what is going on here, because these sort of stories used to be in like the 90s or the 80s, like once a year. You'd hear one of these, and it would be at the end of the year wrap up of what are the worst stories of the year. You'd have like one of these. And
now we have like one or two a week.
A day.
Yeah.
I think it's like a day. It's just too many. What has happened here? Is this a reflection of the years of COVID and the mental trauma that it's induced on so many people? And now we live in this batshit crazy world where people are just doing this shit at random and snapping. And I mean, I'm sure if he looks back, that's probably not something this individual would be proud of, or would be like, yeah, I really wanted to kill everybody, and that's the best thing for me. I'm guessing.
I do want to point something out with this guy, too. I looked him up. It sounds like he was also a school teacher.
Oh.
So that could be lending itself to mental trauma of sorts that teachers, they've got it tough, man. I was reading about a teacher. It was a Business Insider today or something, one of those websites, about a teacher, 31 years old. She quit her job and went to go work for Costco, and says that she feels fulfilled now. She works a set amount of hours. She works and earns more than she ever earned as a teacher. What do you do?
Well, exactly. That's the world we live in, where we don't pay the people that we need to. We have such a crazy lack of care when it comes to financing and funding the upbringing of our youth. We really think this is like a free thing in our country. It's like, it's totally free. Everybody's going to do a good job because you got pregnant. You're magically going to be a wonderful person. And the guy who got you pregnant is going to be there. So let's all keep the babies and make everything wonderful. And I'm not speaking on abortion here. Somebody wants to argue with me on that, whatever. But it's this ignorance that we have of, once someone has their kid, it's just like good fucking luck. No matter what situation you are in life, good fucking luck. And our system is so corrupt and fucked up that it actually incentivizes people to have more children than they should to get money from the government, which is also pretty shitty. So it's like it all just, it's like it works against each other in every way, shape, or form. And at the end of the day, we create a bunch of fucking monsters because they were raised by fucking monsters. And that's what we have here in America. So
it's generational trauma, and it started many years ago, and it's getting worse and worse.
Well, what people don't understand about generational trauma, and I find very interesting, is it's not just like, hey, you were raised this way, and then you're going to repeat the pattern. trauma in people passes through DNA.
Yes, it does.
And I don't think a lot of people quite understand that. And it's exactly how people have evolved over years. Because of trauma is how the human race has evolved. Without it, we wouldn't be as civilized as we are today. We realized that being out there and killing each other randomly was not a good idea. But when we start to introduce some of these horrible ways of raising people and living, you start to reintroduce new generational trauma that will, if they spawn, have effects on future generations. It's not just the nurture end of it. The nature end of it does play a big role when someone has been traumatized in some way, shape, or form. So the guy's horrible. He did this horrible act. Should he face consequences and not be with that family forever? I fucking agree. I think if you're capable of going down that road in breaking at that matter, I think you're probably capable of doing it again.
Yeah. He needs help.
And he does need help, without a doubt. But holy shit, it's just another story of, how things can go so completely out of control when on the surface, on that Instagram feed, on that Facebook feed, or the TikTok feed, everything looks wonderful and great. Those ones are the ones I'm most scared of, because it's like, no, nothing is this perfect.
As you should be.
Yeah. So another story of an individual that people trusted. He didn't, go out of his family unit, but at the same point, certainly I can't imagine being a child or being the spouse of that person and in some way reconciling and going forward. That's a bridge too far, I think, in this case.
I don't think you can. And he's on, let's see, $500 million, or not $500 million, $5 million bond. He's not getting out anytime soon.
No. The fact that he didn't kill anybody, though.
Yeah.
Likely.
Yeah, but he tried.
5-10 years, he's going to be out. So
you think so?
Yeah. And I would very much probably under another name and probably trying to find another church to be a youth pastor at.
You're locked into the Hidden Killers podcast.
Want more? Start binging on all of our true crime podcasts right now through Apple Podcasts and get an ad-free experience when you sign up to be a True Crime Today Premium Plus member exclusively on Apple Podcasts.
More of the Hidden Killers podcast dropping soon.
Press subscribe now.